Gemini, this is your reading for the week of December 22nd, or when it resonates. It won't be for everybody, of course. And likewise, it could also be for not just the sun, but your rising moon, or if you have a lot of Gemini in your chart. So Gemini, the first thing that I see as I started to work with your energy was a beautiful stone fence. I'm talking about the kind of fences, walls that you see, a stone wall. I think I would call it a stone wall rather than a fence. The kind you would see in Ireland or in England, where the stones are laid in such a way, and it's really a skillful ability that people have to do this, where they lay the stones without mortar and they stand and they last and nothing takes them down, but it's all in the way they're placed, the kind of stone that's used, the shape of the stones, and the way they're placed. So why is that relevant for you? As I was checking in with my guides on that, what they were showing me was you being very happy building this wall. It's a low stone wall, okay? This is why they're showing me specifically the kinds that were built in Ireland, just because they're relatively low stone walls. But they delineate space, they delineate fields and different uses for fields. They're not something that can't be jumped over, and they're not something that inhibits the view. In fact, what they're saying is they become a very beautiful part of the landscape, and they help other aspects of nature be protected and grow, whether or not it's animals or different kinds of plants, because it creates protection and different environments within different fields. Okay, so why is that relevant for you, Gemini? It's relevant for you, Gemini, because as you're standing there holding this rock, it's something that's of value to you. What this thing is that you are holding and that you are putting into this wall that you are building is something that is of value to you. So what they're saying about that is, whatever walls you are choosing to build now, you're doing it now with a sense of excitement about it, because you know that as you build these walls, the walls are about something of value to you. Thank you. Now, this may sound convoluted because I'm not getting a clear line here. The stones in the wall represent the things that you wish to have in your life. Thank you. Not to keep people out, but to give you a structure and a containment that you can now work with and enjoy. So the wall itself is a part of what it is you're creating. And the wall, part of what you are creating your wall with, are your desires for things or activities that are valuable to you. So it's twofold. It's the things that are valuable to you that are causing you to create the wall, but the wall itself is part of that you are creating, is part of what helps give rise and support and give life and a place in your life for the things that you really truly value. Now, the cards that came up, interestingly enough, the first two cards that came out, and this was after the image, was the cards Can't and Won't and Creativity. So Can't and Won't is the card, when it comes up as a contemplation card, it's asking you, okay, can't is the language of a child. Won't is the language of an adult. So where are you living your life with can'ts as opposed to won'ts, right? Now, can'ts can be something that we associate with, sometimes you really can't. Sometimes, for example, I cannot sing coloratura soprano. I can't do that. I am not physically capable of that yet, maybe someday, but I'm not working on it. So there you go. But the difference between that and I can't go to that party. Well, Why can't you? Is it because you don't have a babysitter and you can't leave the child alone? Well, maybe that is a can't. But if it's a can't, no, I really can't because I've got stuff I need to get done. Well, do you really have stuff you need to get done? Or is it that you don't want to go? And so you're allowing a can't to be the thing that stops you rather than a choice. So this for me is asking you to look at where you have been disempowering yourself and your ability to be creative, whether it's creative in an artistic way or whether or not it is creative in changing your life, the shape of your life. Where have you let the can'ts get in the way, or the choices that you have made get in the way of your ability to be creative? Now, the energy that you're being asked to consider is gratitude. Because the gratitude aspect of energy is that it's very open and it's very expansive. It's interesting because as I tune into the energy of gratitude, it's open and it's expansive. And strangely enough, that's the feeling that I get, is this openness and this expansiveness as you're creating your beautiful low stone walls. And you're holding these rocks with this sense of, yes, I can finally do this. So this makes sense to me that you're getting the gratitude energy here. The one thing that they're actually talking about in terms of things to look out for that could get in the way is cognitive distortions. So that's interesting too, because cognitive distortions kind of goes back to the can't and won't card. Cognitive distortions are statements that we make that are not necessarily factual, but we say them as though they are. And very often that's where we'll find the I can't, or it never, or statements that seem really emphatic and really absolute, but are not actual statements of truth. They're not even necessarily truth about your feelings. Oh, no, I'd never enjoy that. Well, maybe you wouldn't enjoy that today because you're getting a migraine, but maybe in a week's time, if you let yourself reflect on it, you really would enjoy that particular activity. So look for where you have absolute statements that are often emotionally charged, but not always, that can actually get in the way of you really knowing what you actually feel and what you really want and what the actual truth is. And the value in that is, as soon as you clear up what your cognitive distortions are, that's where you get to make choices, the can't and the won't. Okay? That's where you get to make choices based on real feelings, real facts, and therefore from a place of power and clarity. Okay? Gemini, I'm going to leave you with that. I feel like this is incredibly, incredibly powerful. It's a very, very powerful reading. The one thing that I'm also going to throw in here, because they're reminding me about this, is the pain card came up. Now, how does that fit into this? What I want to say is that I believe that for some of you, there may be a tendency to, and this kind of goes along with the cognitive distortions as I'm looking at it, is that the pain card really talks about, do we only think that our work or our efforts are valuable if it's kind of painful, if it hurts? It's like, no. Where are you not acknowledging your choices are creating some kind of pain for you? And can you step out of that by virtue of your choices? Okay, can you look for where that is? And again, cognitive distortions can also come in ways of denying things that are painful. And painful can be different things. It can be just uncomfortable with. I'm uncomfortable with this. But you do it anyway. And because you're doing that instead of something you would like to do, that can create a kind of existential pain and powerlessness. So I think that's important for some of you as well. Gemini, I'm going to leave you with that. Wish you a happy week, great holiday if you're celebrating, and I imagine I'll be back soon. Take care.